Hey guys, welcome back to another video with your girl Lena. So I want to apologize for my eyes being red and puffy the way they are. Um the past 2 nights I've been going to bed late and I wear contacts, so my eyes are really irritated. And today I should have just worn my glasses, and because at work today I had my contacts in and my eyes were just burning today, like just burning. And I am, I took a shower, and for some reason this eyeliner doesn't want to come off. So tomorrow morning when I shower, I'm gonna try to scrub this off so I can put on fresh makeup on my face and look presentable, because, you know, as a person, who suffers with anxiety and depression, if you make, for myself, if I feel like if I make myself look good, I feel good. So I try to, and I have so much makeup that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make an effort to wear it. So, and you know what, it makes me feel good to, I'm like, I've been wearing it and I'm like, been feeling myself when I go to work. I'm like, oh, the eyeliner's on fleek, and it makes me feel good to wear it because I do it for me, to make myself feel good and look good. I don't do it for nobody else. And you should always do things for yourself, not for no one. And even if you gotta fake it until you make it, always do things to make yourself feel good. Whether it's little things, like getting a manicure or pedicure, putting on makeup, even if you put a lot of makeup on, who cares? If it makes you feel good, do it. So I wanted to make a video on because I know in one of the videos that I made, on the Evelyn Reed video that I made recently, I mentioned that I had seizures. So I wanted to make a video on my epilepsy journey. And I say it like that because I don't really have epilepsy, but it falls under the epilepsy family. So back in 2017, 2017. I can't remember. My memory is shot, and I'm gonna touch on that in a second. Well, in a few minutes. I had a grand mal seizure. If you don't know what a grand mal seizure is a seizure where you're completely unconscious. Your body essentially resets. Your body is unconscious. Some people, your body goes into tremors. Some people, they defecate on themselves. That's because your body completely shuts down. And that's a grand mal seizure. You completely are unconscious. Now, what some people don't know is that there's different types of seizures. There are some seizures where you're completely conscious. There are some seizures where you're just twitching. There are seizures where you're just out for a few seconds and you come back. So there's many different types of seizures, not just the ones like grand mals where you're just completely out and you're just twitching and, you're foaming at the mouth, you bite your tongue or whatever, and you release, bodily fluids. Excuse me. Oh, today's special guest is Shishi. Say hi, Shishi. Say hi, peoples. She's on punishment yesterday because there's a YouTube channel for cats. And she was so into it, guys, so into it that she knocked the TV over, a 32-inch TV over. So yeah, no more cat channels for her. Or at least so I can secure the TV where she doesn't knock it over. Excuse me. Yeah, she was on punishment. She got sprayed with the water bottle because yeah, she could have gotten hurt. And yeah, I was very upset. Anyway, and for the people that are upset that, oh, you know, she just got excited, you should have not sprayed her. Yeah, she got sprayed. That's how you train cats to not do certain behaviors. Is you spray them. No, don't do that. Spray. Man, don't get on the arm. You can either sit next to me or get on the floor, not on the arm of the couch. Thank you. Bye. Anyway, so I was at a class for work, and we were about to head home. And the last thing I remember was the instructor he made a joke. And everything, I don't remember anything. The next thing I remember, I wake up and I see two people. I don't recognize these people. I'm scared. I start to cry. And I remember I had the little, like, oxygen, little things that go in your nose. Not the piece that covers your nose, but the thing that goes in your nose, giving me oxygen. And I'm crying because I'm like, oh my God, am I in trouble? What did I do? What happened? That's going through my head. Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Why am I on the floor? Like, what's going on? And I'm scared and I'm crying. I don't recognize anyone. I don't recognize anybody. One of my, there was a couple of my coworkers at this training that I was doing for work. One of my coworkers, I love her to this day. She comes in the ambulance with me. And I see her, and it took me a bit to recognize her because I was completely unconscious for a few minutes. I was unconscious, I was adjusting myself on my couch. I was unconscious for about maybe 2-3 minutes. From what my coworkers described, I was twitching and jerking on the floor for about 60 seconds, and then I was out cold, like in a deep sleep. And I'm in an ambulance, and then we get to the hospital. I'm still confused as to what's going on. Like, I still didn't know what was going on. So I get to the hospital, and they're like, you had a seizure. I'm like, the fuck? No, I didn't. I've never had a seizure before. I don't have epilepsy. I had a neighbor before, a long time ago. I had a son their child had epilepsy, but I've never had a seizure before. What in the F are you talking about? Like, yeah, you had a seizure, like a grandma seizure. So they take me to get an x-ray, and it showed that I had something called gray matter heterotopia. Say that fast 3 times. Excuse me. Why is it every time I make a video, I'm always burping? Jeez. Excuse me. So rude. Excuse me. Puerca. I'm a puerca. Sorry. Excuse me. So what gray matter is when a baby, a fetus, is developed, like the brain is developing. Think about it like this. There's a cul-de-sac, about, let's say, 4 houses. Each of those houses is having a party. And everybody's going to each other's house. They're all partying in each other's houses. Well, party's over. Everybody has to go home. But there's that one neighbor that likes to party at that one other neighbor's house so much that they don't want to go home. So they stay at that neighbor's house. And they don't never leave. That's that like unwanted visitor that you can never get rid of. Like a squatter. That's what gray matter heterotopia is. Thus, when a fetus is developing the brain, like the brain of a fetus is developing, I should say, the cells go to certain places. Well, these particular cells did not go to where they were supposed to. So, when an X-ray is done, an MRI is done, it shows as gray matter. It shows gray. It doesn't show as translucent whatever. It shows as like it's gray. And you can Google it, like gray matter heterotopia, what a normal brain looks like and what a, gray matter heterotopia brain looks like. It shows gray instead of like that see-through black whatever. But mine is even rarer because there is the part of the brain, I can't think of the name right now, where it has that fluid where it I guess not washes the brain, because it doesn't wash the brain. The brain doesn't have a car wash, but where that fluid that it provides that fluid, and it like continuously flushes that fluid. Oh my gosh. Stop listening. My watch is going to start talking. It's that, I don't want to call it a vein, but it's that, but I'm going to call it, because I can't think of the exact name of it right now. But it's that vein that goes in between the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. And there's this vein in the middle that provides the fluid that coats the brain. Well, mine is in there. The gray matter is in there. And it's like blocking part of that vein. So it makes it even rare. Like my case is even rarer than most gray matter heterotopia patients. So because of the seizures, when you have a seizure, it's considered in the epilepsy family. So when a person has a seizure and they're diagnosed with epilepsy, about 8 times out of 10, they'll only have one seizure in their lifetime. That's far-fetched. A lot of people, this is from my doctor said, a lot of people have just one, I don't want to say a lot, but, some people have one seizure in their lifetime. Let me say that. Let me correct myself. Some people have at least one seizure in their lifetime. Whether it's, like my case, in utero damage, or drug-induced, because you took too many drugs, so you had a seizure or whatnot, brain damage from a car accident or whatnot that's causing your seizures. A person will have at least one seizure in their lifetime. Some will. And never have one again. Because I have gray matter heterotopia, I have a 60% chance of having more. So I have to be on medication for that for the rest of my life in conjunction to my thyroid disorder. So I've struggled with my weight because of my thyroid. I lost my weight. I was about 190 something pounds. Got down to 138. I got put in this medication regimen about 4 or 5 years, I got shot up to 200 and some pounds, 206 pounds, which I am, to today. So, and I'm having other health issues because of my weight. But I'm working on it, working on losing the weight. Now, the problem is that I'm having what's called tonic seizures in my sleep. I don't have any issues during the day, but at night sometimes, and I haven't had any episodes in the past 2 or 3 months where I will twitch in my sleep to the point where it'll wake me up. And it's not night tremors or anything like that, but my significant other has woken me up like I've had to shake you out of your sleep because you have been like trembling like you're having a seizure. And then I had an episode where, as embarrassing as this is, like I don't know if I had a grandma or whatnot, because I was sleeping, where I had to change my sheets and hop in the shower. I'll just leave it at that. Let your imagination assume the rest. So that was the last episode. So one thing that comes with seizures is the more seizures you have, the more it affects your memory, because that's all connected. All that is interconnected to your brain. So my memory is, my short-term memories, like I have really bad memory problems, but sometimes my short-term memory can be really bad. Like I can be looking at someone who I know their name and forget it instantly. And I can be looking at them and I'm like, what is this person's name? I know their name, but I don't remember their name. Some other symptoms of gray matter heterotopia is memory loss, hand tremors, mood swings. What else? Some people have problems all their life, as child to adults. Some people start having issues from once they become adults. And that's me, where I fall into that category. I didn't start having issues until I became an adult. And some people fall in that category. A lot, when people with gray matter heterotopia fall in that category. Some people with gray matter heterotopia have uncontrolled seizures. And no matter what medications they're on, they can't control their seizures. Excuse me. Thankfully, my medication regime has been changed and my seizures are under control. It's very important that a person with epilepsy, with an underlying issue of epilepsy and or underlying gray matter heterotopia, follow their doctor's orders for their regime of medication. And if it's not working for them, they need to communicate that with their doctor. Because, Lord forbid, you don't follow your doctor's orders, you can have a seizure and it can kill you. A seizure can kill you and you not know it. Before I had a seizure, I wasn't educated enough to know, well, how can a person have a seizure and swallow their tongue? That's how ignorant I was. Well, then I realized, oh, you can bite your tongue off and swallow it. That's how you can, Now, if you know someone or see someone that has a seizure, please do not hold their hand or put your hand in their mouth. turn them to the side and call 911 if they're having a grand mal seizure. Do not put your hand in their mouth or put anything in that person's mouth. Once the body resets, that person has ungodly strength. Do not hold their hand. Your hand will be broken. You put something in their mouth, they will either break it or they will shatter their teeth. After I had my grand mal seizure, I didn't feel it that first day, but the second day, my tongue was swollen because I had bitten the sides of my tongue. That was the only residual thing. I felt worse for my coworkers who were traumatized from seeing me that way. I was making jokes about it, but to make them feel better about the situation, because they were legitimately traumatized seeing what happened to me. I'm a person that I make light of my health issues because they don't define me. I am a person that keeps on chucking. I push through whatever I'm going through. And I felt worse for them than I felt for me, because they looked at me and when I went back to work like 3 days later, and they looked like they wanted to cry when they saw me. Like, they hugged me. And I'm only a touchy-feely person with family and very close friends. So when they were hugging me and I'm like, but I'm like, okay, I understand. So I'm just like, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm perfectly okay. Of course, I couldn't drive for 6 months. So I'm depending on people to take me to work. And it was a terrible 6 months because I couldn't drive. And I'm independent, lived alone, so it's like, it's crazy. So she smacked you because you're mean to her, Bella. I'm glad she smacked you because she's tired of you always hissing at her. You ever talk to your cats like they're kids? Sorry, I got sidetracked. And Bella, my old one, was actually being nice, and she got smacked. And I'm happy because she's always being mean. Always being mean. Always being mean. Now she got her karma. Anyway, but I just felt terrible because there were several coworkers that saw me have that seizure, and they're describing, and what the girl that got in the ambulance with me, she got in trouble, and that pissed me off to high heaven. Like, oh, it wasn't her place to be in the ambulance. I thanked her from the bottom of my heart, and I said, you were the only face I recognized, because I was scared shitless when I woke up. And I thanked her. And every time I see her and that comes up, I get emotional and I say, you know what? I owe you everything, because I will never forget that deed you did for me. I will never forget it. Ever, ever. And I'm getting emotional now. I will never, ever forget that. Ever in my life. Ever. Because that was the face that I recognized when I woke up. Because I didn't recognize anybody. But once I was starting to come to my senses, I recognized her. And this goes out to anyone that's in a leadership, managerial position. If you have someone that hops in the ambulance of a coworker and you have a conversation about them, about how wrong they are, you are wrong. You are wrong. Not that staff member. You are wrong. Because that means the world to that person sitting on that gurney, scared shitless. But you're more concerned about what a liability that was. That wasn't a liability. That was a good deed. That was a great deed. Because coming out of unconsciousness, and I didn't recognize anybody, and I'm bawling my eyes out because I didn't know what was going on. And for you to say it wasn't her place to be in that ambulance, and then to find that out, pissed me off to high heaven. Because that wasn't right. She should have been praised for what she did. And I praised her every time I saw her. Every time I saw her, I praised her. And every time I saw anyone that was in that room with me for that training, I always made a joke about what happened to downplay the trauma that they went through because of me. Because I felt bad. And I know it wasn't my fault, because I didn't know that was going to happen. But I thank God that I didn't get in a car and started driving and could have caused a fatality. Because I don't know what would have happened if I would have gotten in the wheel and then I would have had a seizure. Because there would have definitely been an accident. And I would have not known if I would have seen another day. And that's why I firmly believe that my life has a purpose. My life has a purpose. Because I had the seizure in the class, not behind the wheel. Because I definitely would have not made it. But anyway, if y'all have any other questions, like you're asking questions like I'm on live. Anyway, if y'all have any questions, leave them down below and I'll answer them as best as I can. To my next video. Bye.